I have over 25 hours on Penny Parker inside of Marvel Rivals, and in today's video, I quickly want to mention some stuff that I've noticed other Penny mains, or at least players that play as her, not utilizing, and that could be also you. Now, Penny as a whole is super easy to understand, so I'm not going to be getting into her like full-on abilities. She does have 4 out of 5 stars in difficulty, which I feel like shouldn't be the case, but the main thing that I want to talk about is 3 things that you could start doing to become even more annoying, because let's be honest, Penny Parkers are some of the most annoying tanks in the game, and if you utilize these correctly, you could become even worse. And the first one that I want to talk about is I'm noticing that a lot of people don't use their cyber web snare as much as you can. Every single time that you use this, you have a cooldown of just 3 seconds, which is absolutely insane. So utilizing this a lot on your enemies, constantly trying to grab them, will actually be really helpful and get you out of some really sticky situations, or even just 1v1s that you could have. Now, the reason I started off with this ability is obviously to grab them, but it actually has other benefits with one more item, which, if you don't know, the Arcano mines inside of the game are incredible on Penny. Not only do they just sit there and are almost unnoticeable, so you can just blow up enemies whenever they walk past it, but if you shoot them on top of the web that you can shoot on the ground as well, not just at enemies, and put down these mines on the ground, they will become completely invisible. And the reason I want to talk about this is because you can actually place these anywhere on the map, mainly probably around the spawn area of your enemies, depending on what mode you're playing. If it's domination, it could become a bit more easier to utilize this because they'll be always coming back to the exact same spot. If you kind of learn the pattern of your enemies, you'll know where they will be standing. And honestly, personally, I don't play as much Penny as I used to, just because I'm trying to learn other heroes, or at least get them to Lord, and I myself sometimes don't even look around on the ground, and I've noticed other players don't as well. So definitely try to hide those bombs as much as possible. But now I can move on to the mines themselves. You can use these an insane amount of times, and they're super good. Best way to play Penny is constantly holding down your trigger and shooting at the enemies, but while you do that, obviously spam your cyber web at the enemies as well, but try to shoot the mines as much as possible towards the direction of the enemies. The amount of times I was able to take out Doctor Strange's, because obviously I can't shoot my webs or the gun through their actual shield, but those mines did come in clutch and blow him up to the point where he panics, and then I can shoot him even more. So combine these as much as possible to make them super powerful. But the last thing that I want to talk about real quick is Penny's melee attack. This can actually get you out of some really bad situations. If there's a tank like Thor or Hulk pushing you, combining the cyber web snare and your melee attack while also shooting can actually be really useful, and you could win most punching fights. The amount of times I had tanks push me because they can attack me, I just web snare them and then go up and start meleeing them, but at the exact same time as I melee, I keep holding down my gun, which is the cyber web cluster, the normal gun that you have on her, and every single time you melee, there is a small chance, most of the time it will happen, but sometimes I'm just gonna say it doesn't 100% of the time work, you will also shoot. So I know you could shoot double, but the fact that you run up to the enemy and start punching them, I've noticed players usually start panicking in that situation, start running away. Tanks, at least some of them, can't run away as fast as others, and you will be winning most of those fights. So again, before we end this video off, I know that some of these tips and tricks you might already be using, but if you concentrate on them mainly, you will actually be winning most of the fights. Also, something I didn't mention is don't forget that web itself can actually heal you. It won't be an insane amount of healing, but if you do activate your ult or the bionic spider nest, which you should also be using, the reason I didn't talk about it is because that's an obvious thing. Every player puts it down, just hide it, and it should be taking out the enemies. And if you aren't using Penny Parker, you really need to start to, because she is insanely broken, and I'm surprised that it took so long until recently, from what I've noticed, that people started to really main her, especially in comp, which she is an absolute unit and beast to use. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this video did help you out in some kind of way. If you want to see more Marvel Rivals content from tips and tricks like that, I will definitely be covering them. I just need to fully learn a character, and I think I have Penny Parker down, all the way. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.